Hi, and welcome to Tune In Tuesdays. So we're in the midst of a series about self-care. So today we're going to talk about mental self-care. So to me, mental means something that stimulates my brain, causes it to stretch and grow. I know lots of people who look at mental care and growth, challenge themselves to learn some hard things. So I don't know what's on your list, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that are on mine and that really excite me. One is I always have a book going, sometimes two, three, four, five, you know. So some of us that are a little more ADD have a hard time settling in on just one thing. So most of the time I read nonfiction because for years and years and years I thought, oh, what a waste of time to read fiction. But then I went through a period of time with homeschooling my children that we delve into the classics a lot more. And that expanded my mind and challenged me in ways that I did not even think possible. So I don't know, what do you read? Since I started reading into the classics, it expanded my mind into more nonfiction. And I have always read aloud to my children when they were teeny weenies to all the way through, and everybody loved read aloud. But we're talking about our own personal, and it's great to have growth with your family through read alouds, but let's focus on you as a woman, as a mom, as a caregiver. Let's focus about what recharges you mentally. So for me, I love to have a good book. There are lots of different authors, and I have lots of different genres and things that I'm trying to learn and grow from. I love how-tos and lots of nonfiction. I even love to read some really good magazines. I'm not one for lots of ads and that kind of thing. So I'm careful about the magazines that I read just because of that fact. I have projects that I like to do, and to me creativity fits into the idea of mental self-care. Now the word's out in our family that if mom doesn't have something creative to do frequently, multiple times during the week creatively, that mom becomes a really grumpy person. And so I have made it known to my family that I have to have creative outlets. For me, that might look like even making something new for a food and cooking. Right now I'm doing lots of cultured foods and learning how to make that and get that into a routine. And that is challenging for me. Some people might like to do crossword puzzles, word puzzles, Sudoku or whatever. Well, the number ones don't go for me. I have a hard time with that part of my brain. It just doesn't work real well. So whatever you like to do, some people like to learn a foreign language. I have a hard enough time with English, thank you. So I just work on expanding my horizons through reading and through journaling. I do some of my own personal writing. And I like to talk to people who have different things that they've done or places that they've been. That is interesting to me. Another place that is really good for some mental stimulation is Pinterest. And I know a lot of you probably are on Pinterest. But check around with some people that you admire or the blogs that you read and see what they do. See what kinds of things they might be expanding their minds on or learning and sharing. I know that right now at this time of year, which is in January, there are lots of people planning gardens. There are lots of people planning their activities for summers and things like that. So stretch your mind, look at resources that are out there, and try and find some things that excite you. So this last winter, not this one, but the previous, 2014-15, I took up knitting again. And that was something that my grandmother had taught me years and, well, decades ago. But I had really kind of forgotten. And so I had a couple people that knew how to knit, and I had them show me some things that I had decided to make myself and my granddaughters and my daughters all shawls. And I had found a brand of yarn that was super, super soft, fun to work with. I found a pattern that I liked, and it was with big needles too. But so they went pretty fast. But I had to learn how to do some things that I had not known how to do yet, and had never learned. And so it was really something that I had to think about, I had to process. But then there's that rhythm that goes with the knitting that brings a calm to my mind. And so like all other areas of self-care, they all interconnect. And I love the rhythm of handwork and needlework. And so that fills that creative part, but it also brings a peace and a calm to my mind. So there's that. You might want to challenge yourself to find something new to learn in your community. Whether it is getting your CPR card up again and valid, or if there is a dance class or a painting class or something. And some of you may find that it is best for you to go outside of your home to do some creativity. Just find out what your local library has to offer. Talk to your friends. Talk to people on Facebook. Ask them what is their favorite books, their favorite movies. What are the things that they are learning to do and challenging themselves to. Even just doing the connecting with people over mental skills and strength can really give a boost to your spirit. And besides which, unless we're exercising those muscles and stretching them and moving, they don't have the opportunity to work. And so that same thing goes for our minds. A few years ago, well, I've been a Boy Scout merit badge counselor for decades. But a few years ago, I had some boys come over for me to sign off on some of the work that they had done. And I started talking to them about what was the most recent book they read. And I was absolutely shocked that these boys, yes, teenage boys, but even so, had only ever read books that were assigned to them in school. They never read for pleasure. I was just mortified because that's not the case for most of my children. And so I thought, I wonder how far that goes into the general public and into the adults of the world. So if you haven't picked up a book in a while, I encourage you, no judgment there, just do it. Find something that interests you. And if reading is hard for you, and some people in our family have reading disabilities, there are all different kinds of options to continue to read. One of them is audiobooks. Fabulous, fabulous. Another thing is find out what good quality movies there are, not just to entertain, but to learn from. And they don't have to be documentaries, but sometimes the movie is better than the book, or the book is better than the movie. So check it out, and then write to yourself or journal about what you've learned. The other thing I like to do is I love to sew, and I love to think about sewing as much as I love to sew. So if you go on my Pinterest board, you'll be able to see some of the things that I like to do. And in my styles, you'll see clothes which I one day dream about making and things like that. So I hope you can get stimulated in your mind about trying different things, or maybe picking up things that you have not touched in a while, whether it's a project or a creative or artistic endeavor, or a new recipe even. So challenge yourself. This next next week, try and do just a little bit and get a pattern for or a time frame for what you might want to do for mental self-care. So until next time, thanks for joining us at Tune In Tuesday, and have a beautiful day.